Heart disease doesn't always knock before it enters. In fact, the scariest thing about it is how silent it can be until it's too late. Imagine this. Over 17.9 million people die each year from cardiovascular diseases. That's nearly 1/3 of all global deaths. But here's the catch. A large percentage of these deaths are preventable. Heart disease doesn't usually show symptoms until major damage has already been done. That's why early action is key. It's not just about treating the heart when things go wrong. It's about giving it the nutrients it needs to stay strong and resilient long before there's a problem. And in a world full of processed food, high stress, and sedentary routines, protecting your heart is no longer a recommendation. It's a necessity. The good news? You don't need expensive medication to start. Today, we're diving into something powerful yet often overlooked: vitamins. These tiny nutrients carry big weight when it comes to protecting your heart. So let's walk through the top 7 vitamins your heart needs, how they work, where to find them, and who should take note, because your life might literally depend on it. Let's start with vitamin D, often called the sunshine vitamin. While vitamin D is widely known for its role in maintaining strong bones, its influence on heart health is just as important, yet often overlooked. One of the most critical ways vitamin D supports cardiovascular function is through its effect on the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system, RAS, which helps regulate blood pressure and fluid balance. When vitamin D levels are low, this system can become overactive, causing blood vessels to constrict and sodium to be retained. This chain reaction leads to elevated blood pressure, also known as hypertension. Over time, persistent high blood pressure places immense strain on the heart and arteries, dramatically increasing the risk of heart attacks, strokes, and heart failure. What's particularly concerning is that vitamin D deficiency is incredibly common. It's estimated that over 1 billion people worldwide are deficient, and many don't even know it, because the symptoms are often vague or silent until serious issues develop. Fatigue, muscle weakness, or mood changes may appear, but often go unlinked to the deficiency. Meanwhile, beneath the surface, low vitamin D is quietly contributing to vascular dysfunction and inflammation, setting the stage for long-term cardiovascular damage. Scientific research supports this connection. Multiple large-scale studies have observed that individuals with low serum levels of vitamin D are significantly more likely to develop coronary artery disease and experience major cardiovascular events. One study even found that a deficiency in vitamin D was associated with a nearly 60% increase in the risk of heart disease. Thankfully, getting enough vitamin D doesn't have to be complicated. The most natural source is sunlight. Around 15 to 30 minutes of direct sun exposure on the skin a few times a week can help maintain healthy levels, depending on your skin tone, location, and time of year. Dietary sources also help, with fatty fish like salmon and mackerel, egg yolks, fortified dairy products, and mushrooms exposed to UV light being good options. In many cases, especially in colder regions or for people with limited sun exposure, supplementation is recommended. A daily dose of 1,000 to 2,000 IU is typically safe and effective for most adults, but it's wise to test your levels first. To improve absorption and effectiveness, consider taking vitamin D alongside magnesium and vitamin K2. These nutrients work together. Magnesium activates vitamin D in the body, and K2 ensures calcium is directed to the bones and not the arteries, enhancing heart protective benefits. Now, let's talk about vitamin K2, a lesser-known sibling of vitamin K1, but a game-changer for heart health. While most people recognize vitamin K1 for its role in blood clotting, its lesser-known counterpart, vitamin K2, plays a far more protective role when it comes to heart health, and the science behind it is genuinely fascinating. Vitamin K2's standout job is directing calcium to the right places in your body. It helps ensure that calcium is deposited in bones and teeth, where it's beneficial, rather than in soft tissues like arteries, where it can be downright dangerous. One of the most alarming but silent threats to heart health is arterial calcification, the buildup of calcium in the artery walls. This process causes blood vessels to lose their flexibility and become narrowed, making it harder for blood to flow and increasing the risk of high blood pressure, heart attacks, and even heart failure. And this isn't a rare problem. Studies have shown that arterial calcification is present in up to 90% of people over the age of 70, even if they have no obvious symptoms. It's a creeping process, often progressing quietly over the years. This is where vitamin K2 shines. It activates a special protein in the body called matrix GLA protein, MGP, which acts like a traffic cop for calcium, stopping it from depositing in the arteries and guiding it back into the bones. Without enough K2, MGP remains inactive, and calcium is free to settle where it doesn't belong. This silent malfunction plays a significant role in the development of cardiovascular disease, especially in aging adults and those with chronic kidney issues. Interestingly, populations with high K2 intake tend to have better cardiovascular outcomes. For example, in Japan, where fermented foods like natto are a regular part of the diet, rates of arterial calcification and heart disease are notably lower. Natto is by far the richest source of K2, particularly in the form of menaquinone, 7-7 Malawian which has a longer half-life in the body and is more bioavailable. If natto isn't your thing, and let's be honest, it's an acquired taste, you can also find K2 in hard cheeses, egg yolks, chicken liver, and some fermented dairy products. For supplementation, doses between 90 to 200 micrograms of -7 Malawian kwaches per day have shown benefits, especially in conjunction with vitamin D3. Together, they work synergistically. Vitamin D increases calcium absorption, while K2 ensures that calcium ends up in the bones and not the arteries. This combination is a powerhouse for both bone strength and cardiovascular protection, making them an excellent duo for anyone focused on long-term heart health. Vitamin C is next, and while it's a household name for immunity, its heart benefits are often underestimated. Vitamin C stands out as one of the most powerful antioxidants our bodies can use to protect heart health. Oxidative stress is a major culprit behind the damage and inflammation of blood vessels, and it happens when unstable molecules called free radicals run wild. One of the most dangerous free radicals is oxidized LDL cholesterol, the so-called bad cholesterol. When LDL gets oxidized, it becomes sticky and starts clinging to the walls of arteries, forming plaques that narrow the vessels and increase the risk of heart attacks and strokes. Vitamin C helps neutralize these harmful free radicals before they can wreak havoc, keeping arteries smooth and flexible. Beyond its antioxidant power, vitamin C is crucial for producing collagen, a structural protein that acts like scaffolding inside your blood vessels. Collagen maintains the strength and elasticity of vessel walls, preventing cracks or tears that could trigger serious cardiovascular issues. So, in a way, vitamin C works both by preventing damage and by reinforcing your arteries' defenses. There's solid evidence to back this up. Long-term studies have shown that people with higher vitamin C levels in their blood tend to have a lower risk of heart failure, stroke, and other cardiovascular problems. This makes sense when you think about how oxidative damage and inflammation are at the root of many heart diseases. You can get plenty of vitamin C naturally from fresh fruits and vegetables. Oranges, strawberries, kiwis, bell peppers, and broccoli are all excellent choices that pack a strong vitamin C punch. Most adults benefit from around 500 to 1,000 milligrams daily, which can be easily met through diet or supplements. A neat trick to boost vitamin C's absorption and antioxidant effect is taking it alongside bioflavonoids, naturally found in citrus peels. These compounds work together to make the antioxidant power of vitamin C even stronger. Of course, vitamin C isn't a cure-all, but adding it to a balanced diet is a smart, science-backed way to support your heart health naturally. Just think of it as your arteries shield against damage and inflammation, keeping blood flowing freely and your heart happy for the long haul. Moving on to vitamin E, another antioxidant warrior. Vitamin E plays a unique and crucial role in protecting your heart by guarding the very structure of your cells, specifically the cell membranes, from oxidative damage. While it shares some similarities with vitamin C in preventing LDL cholesterol oxidation, Vitamin E does this from within the lipid layers of cells, essentially acting as a defender right where damage can start. This inside-out protection is vital because when LDL cholesterol oxidizes inside cell membranes, it triggers a cascade of inflammation and plaque buildup that leads to atherosclerosis. In this silent but deadly condition, artery walls thicken and harden, restricting blood flow. People at higher risk of atherosclerosis, such as those with high cholesterol or diabetes, may particularly benefit from vitamin E's ability to reduce oxidative stress. By lowering this stress, vitamin E helps slow down the progression of plaque buildup, effectively delaying or preventing heart disease. But its benefits don't stop there. Vitamin E also supports endothelial function, which is a fancy way of saying it helps keep the inner lining of your blood vessels healthy and flexible. This lining is responsible for regulating vessel dilation and contraction, key factors in maintaining healthy blood pressure and overall cardiovascular function. You'll find vitamin E naturally in foods like nuts, seeds, spinach, and sunflower oil. It's important to note that the natural form of vitamin E, called D-alpha-tocopherol, is better absorbed and used by the body than synthetic versions often found in supplements. The general recommendation for vitamin E intake is about 15 milligrams per day. Still, some experts suggest that doses up to 200 international units, IU, might be beneficial for heart health, always under medical supervision to ensure safety. A word of caution, because vitamin E can thin the blood, high doses might increase the risk of bleeding, especially in people who are already taking blood thinners like warfarin. This is why it's essential to consult with a healthcare provider before starting vitamin E supplements, especially if you're on medication or have underlying health conditions. With the right approach, vitamin E can be a powerful ally in your heart health journey, protecting cells from damage and keeping your arteries flexible and strong. Vitamin B6 deserves attention too, especially for its role in controlling homocysteine levels. Homocysteine is an amino acid naturally produced in the body, but when its levels rise too high, it becomes a real threat to your cardiovascular health. Elevated homocysteine can damage the delicate inner lining of your arteries, the endothelium, making it easier for blood clots to form and increasing your risk of coronary artery disease, stroke, and peripheral vascular disease. Think of homocysteine as a biochemical troublemaker that, when unchecked, contributes to the hardening and narrowing of your arteries. Vitamin B6 plays a key role in keeping homocysteine levels in check by helping convert it into safer substances like cysteine and methionine, which the body can use or eliminate without causing harm. This conversion process supports the health of your blood vessels and reduces the risk of the damage that leads to serious cardiovascular events. You can find vitamin B6 in everyday foods like poultry, bananas, chickpeas, and fortified cereals, making it relatively easy to include in your diet. For most adults, the recommended daily intake of vitamin B6 is around 1.3 to 2 milligrams. Still, people with elevated homocysteine levels might need higher doses, especially when vitamin B6 is combined with folate, vitamin B9, and vitamin B12. This trio works synergistically in a process called methylation, which is crucial not just for regulating homocysteine, but also for repairing DNA, detoxifying harmful compounds, and supporting overall heart protection. Methylation is like your body's natural maintenance crew, ensuring that cells function correctly and that toxic byproducts don't accumulate. When folate, B6, and B12 work together efficiently, they keep homocysteine levels low and protect your arteries from inflammation and damage. Several studies have linked supplementation of these vitamins with reduced homocysteine levels and improved cardiovascular outcomes, particularly in individuals at high risk for heart disease. Adding foods rich in these B vitamins is a simple and natural way to support your heart. However, if tests show you have high homocysteine, a healthcare provider may recommend supplements tailored to your needs. This is especially important since deficiencies in any of these vitamins can disrupt methylation, leading to elevated homocysteine and increasing cardiovascular risk. By addressing this, you're tackling a less obvious but powerful factor that could be silently affecting your heart health. Let's now touch on folate, also known as vitamin B9. Folate is another vital vitamin that plays a crucial role in regulating homocysteine, but its benefits extend far beyond that. It's deeply involved in the production and maintenance of new cells, which is essential for repairing tissues and keeping your blood vessels strong and healthy. When your vessels are properly maintained, they remain flexible and less prone to damage, which is key for preventing heart disease. Research shows that folate supplementation can significantly reduce the risk of stroke, particularly in individuals with high blood pressure, a major risk factor for cardiovascular problems. This protective effect likely comes from folate's ability to lower homocysteine levels and support healthy endothelial function, which keeps the inner lining of blood vessels working smoothly. Beyond cardiovascular health, folate is famously important during pregnancy to prevent neural tube defects, but its role in heart health is equally impressive. Another critical function of folate is its involvement in DNA synthesis and repair. This helps prevent mutations that could accumulate over time and potentially lead to problems in blood vessels and other tissues. Keeping DNA intact and functioning properly supports the long-term health of your heart and vascular system. You can find folate naturally in leafy green vegetables like spinach and kale, legumes such as lentils and beans, and citrus fruits like oranges. For general health maintenance, the daily recommendation is about 400 micrograms. However, people at higher cardiovascular risk or those with elevated homocysteine may benefit from higher doses, always under the supervision of a healthcare provider. It's worth noting that folate is most effective when taken in its methylated form, known as 5-methyltetrahydrofolate, 5-MTHF. This is particularly important for individuals with genetic variations in the MTHFR gene, which can reduce their ability to convert folic acid into the active form the body needs. Using 5-MTHF ensures better absorption and utilization, maximizing folate's protective effects on your heart. So, folate isn't just a prenatal vitamin. It's a powerful nutrient that supports your heart by maintaining healthy cells, protecting your blood vessels, and reducing stroke risk, all crucial steps for long-term cardiovascular wellness. Last but not least is omega-3 fatty acids, not a vitamin in the traditional sense, but a fat-soluble compound your heart can't live without. Omega-3 fatty acids are among the most celebrated nutrients for heart health, and with good reason. They help reduce inflammation throughout the body, which is a major driver of many chronic diseases, including heart disease. Chronic inflammation contributes to the buildup of plaque inside arteries, making them stiff and narrow, which increases the risk of heart attacks and strokes. By lowering inflammation, omega-3s help keep arteries flexible and functioning well. But omega-3s don't stop there. They also lower triglycerides, which are a type of fat found in the blood that, when elevated, increases cardiovascular risk. High triglyceride levels are linked to thicker artery walls and greater chances of blood clots forming. Omega-3s help bring these levels down, which translates into a healthier, more resilient heart. Another impressive benefit is their role in improving blood vessel elasticity. Healthy, flexible blood vessels can better accommodate changes in blood pressure and ensure smooth blood flow, reducing the strain on your heart. Omega-3s also help stabilize heart rhythm, which is crucial for preventing irregular heartbeats or arrhythmias that can sometimes lead to sudden cardiac events. Populations with diets rich in omega-3s, like the Inuit in the Arctic and the Japanese, consistently show remarkably low rates of heart disease compared to Western populations. This real-world evidence strongly supports omega-3's protective role. The two main active forms of omega-3s that provide these benefits are EPA, eicosapentaenoic acid, and DHA, docosahexaenoic acid, both primarily found in fatty fish such as salmon, sardines, and mackerel. For heart protection, aiming for at least 2 servings of oily fish per week is a practical goal. If that's not feasible, supplements containing about 1,000 milligrams of combined EPA and DHA daily can offer similar benefits. To enhance omega-3 stability and prevent them from oxidizing, which reduces their effectiveness. Pairing them with vitamin E is a smart move. Vitamin E acts as a shield, protecting omega-3 molecules and helping maintain their powerful heart-supporting effects. So here's a simple but powerful challenge for you. Take a moment to think about which of these heart-healthy nutrients might be missing or low in your diet right now. Maybe it's vitamin D from sunlight, vitamin K2 from fermented foods, or omega-3s from fatty fish. Whatever it is, commit to adding that one nutrient into your meals or daily routine this week. It could be as easy as enjoying a salmon dinner, blending a spinach and citrus smoothie, or stepping outside for just 10 minutes of sunshine. These small, consistent steps might seem minor, but over time, they add up to meaningful protection for your heart. Thanks for watching. If you decide to try this, drop a comment and share how it went. Your experience might inspire someone else to take charge of their heart health, too.